as I begin the stream, for regular viewers, of course, some of you may be thinking, well, hang on, it's a Champions League night. And I said, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that we wouldn't be streaming on Champions League nights. I thought I'd still do a little stream, and again, I've broken my rule immediately. If it is as quiet as previous Champions League nights, we might call it an early night. But I figured, you know, I had the energy to do this stream, and again, I think the typical pattern will be that we don't stream on most Champions League nights, but we missed a few weeks, and I just fancy going on eBay anyway, so we're doing a stream. So it's a bit of a bonus stream in some ways. Apologies for the lack of consistency. I think, again, typically Champions League nights we will, usually not stream, but we're going to do one tonight. Bayern are playing Real Madrid, of course. It's just kicked off. So I'm sure some of you, if not anyone who is tuning in, will be watching that as well. But hopefully we can enjoy this on a second screen, I should say. And as we begin, Brock has some eBay success. Says, I had a great eBay purchase this morning. Do share the details, Brock. Very excited to hear about that one. But guys, let's get into it. Let's get straight into it. And of course, as Brock has done, you can jump in the chat, get involved, share your latest collection additions. And of course, we will have a quick browse. And I say quick because, again, it's a Champions League night, and I did say I wouldn't stream on Champions League nights, but I'm basically on eBay anyway. Why not jump on stream? So let's do that. Of course, because this is something of a regular show, we won't introduce too much what we're doing. We are essentially just going to browse on eBay for shares. Nice and simple. But do subscribe if you are new to the channel. We do this most Tuesdays, as I say. We also have a Thursday stream and other regular videos as well. So, without further ado, what have we got now? We're certainly not in a rush to pick up anything. I'm not sort of desperate to pick up anything, but I'm very open to whatever eBay has first. I quite like this. They're very simple. This Adidas Milan shirt was a nice template with channel log glue there. At £9, that's a pretty good price. I mean, to be honest, I'd be tempted just to stick in a bid. Now, we don't have a lot of time to verify its authenticity. Of course, this is definitely... Okay, so here we go. With a couple of minutes to go, let us quickly Google that code. So we are looking for, what is it, Adidas? Oh, I can't even see it there. Let's get the image. So we are Googling the numbers there. The first thing, if we Google that bottom number, now this is exactly what you don't want to see. However, I always double check both numbers, or codes I should say. But the middle one typically does not offer us much. So based on first impression, this is exactly what you don't want to see. Does this mean it's a fake? Not necessarily. I think what's important to note is that though this typically is a sign of a fake, there are fringe cases where, for example, if a shirt uses a widely used template, you might get generic templates. But this essentially, to me, is enough of a warning sign to say, okay, based on googling that code, there is a significant chance that it is a fake. I mean, again, it's enough to put me off. Now, the seller does have very good ratings, but also I've just noticed £15 postage. So even then, though it would be a steal at sort of tenner were it real, there's enough warning signs there. there's enough warning signs to not stick in a bid. That's the kind of thing, guys, where I would always caution you to, yeah, I mean, it's great that they provided pictures of the codes, and in that sense, that's quite positive. But yeah, definitely enough to pass on this one. But nice shirt, wear it real. BYU soccer jacket book, nice. Must be from around 2007. Adidas, BYU uses Nike, very nice. Yeah, I can't picture. I've seen a few. My interest in American football has led me to. I can picture sort of some BYU American football jerseys in my head. But yeah, that is cool. Now this Italy shirt is pretty sweet. It does have some damage. And we are too late to really go in for a bid. The size also being XXL is not ideal. Had it been in our size though, I think this is potentially a really, really nice pickup. Now, guys, this is peak eBay. Italy 90s kit. Not only that, but it's, I think, a really underrated design. Not the Nike era was relatively short-lived. But this particular shirt I think is absolutely fantastic. It's got that wonderful subliminal pattern, the jacquard in the body of the material, the pattern, and it's very, very mid to late 90s Nike. The collar, the very kind of wide neck, again I mentioned the jacquard. You would expect this to be quite a baggy fit. Sorry, excuse me. And being XXL, it's even baggier. But this is a great pickup. Like, this shirt, I would be sure, I'm sure would be, I should say, sorry, more than double this on your typical retailer. Classic, it's probably like £100, but that's classic for you. Most other retailers, I would expect upwards of £70-80 in a good size. Now in XXL you would knock off a bit of money, and obviously this one has signs of wear, albeit I would say this is sort of in line with a kind of consistent with age. There is a fair bit of bubbling. I think, you know, at best you would maybe see this listed as good online, I think, or maybe, you know, very good, but it looks real to me. That label certainly looks pretty good. So this is a great pickup. It's a really, really nice shirt here. And you know, Bernardo's, again, one of a number of charities who sell a lot of shirts on eBay, and that's really sweet. So great, like for 40, what's that, 45 quid, just over 45 quid. You can't really get any better than that. Fantastic item. Shame it's not in our size. Let's just have a quick look out of interest. Now I think this will bring up, yeah, so it's got Bernardo's again have a huge number of items. They do have their own sports memorabilia section though. I'm going to have a very quick browse. You can see here there's no other shirts currently. Some other items, but yeah. Excuse me. Really, really sweet pickup. I mean, that honestly is like a great deal for whoever picked that up. Very jealous. Again, it's not on a size. I don't think it's an incredible steal, but it's definitely below market value, despite the condition. Now, worth saying, guys, well, this time of year we're very much approaching end of season sales territory. So you're going to see, like, undoubtedly some people try and flog kind of current season shirts which they've bought on sale and then tried to sell on. So just be aware of that. Like, genuinely, just go all around your club stores, and there. I mean, I saw a post today about Villa, the Castore Villa shirts from the season being discounted down to kind of 30-35 quid, which is pretty good, and they may drop further. I know Everton had a big sale recently. Again, they're reportedly moving away from Hummel, so there's, you know, especially when there's a manufacturer change, you do see really big discounts. So do be on the lookout for that. You can add a lot of nice pieces to your collection that way. Now this is a really nice Wimbledon shirt from Hummel. You know, and it's slated as match worn. No, I don't know. It's hard to kind of verify that. And I would always say if a shirt says match worn, I would largely not take much into that unless there's proof. Obviously this is patched up and badged up, and that is a good sign, but it's in such good nick that I would assume this is, well, I don't want to speak ill of the seller. Wimbledon Archive, I mean, these are the items that you would expect to see for someone who was selling kind of kit room stuff, so maybe they are legit. Either way, a nice shirt and not a bad price. Brock, yes, the Puerto Rico shirt. I think didn't we? I feel like we ranked that, but maybe I'm misremembering. If we haven't ranked it, we'll probably be ranking it on Thursday, assuming it's on football shirt culture. Now look at this. We mentioned Villa. Umbro, early 90s Umbro. What a time for kits. Basically, here's like a cheat code. Anytime you see a shirt with this label, replicate, this Umbro label, it's probably a really nice shirt. That's just like a rule you can have as you go around searching for shirts. Wonderful kit. It's got all the things you like to see in a 90s shirt. Bit of wear on the logo, but nothing too bad at all. And same, you know, that crest has picked up a fair bit, but a really nice shirt. Great price, like, considering how sought after these types of shirts are. Well, it's crazy. Like, to me, the fact that you can buy a shirt like this for little more than a new shirt is absolutely crazy. Like, it is a lot of money, you know, there's no getting away from that, but compared to the price of a new shirt, it really is a no-brainer. So another great pickup. There's some strong items tonight, nothing we have bid for as of yet. So here's an example. I mentioned this before, guys. This shirt, I am almost certain I saw this for less than 30 quid. Now I may be wrong on the price there, but I would definitely say you could get this shirt. Well, I would definitely, before you go in 40 quid, check the club store, because it's a current season shirt. Again, I'd almost basically say avoid current season shirts if you can, typically speaking. Middleman, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Yeah, this is a bit of a bonus stream. I said I wouldn't stream on Champions League nights, but I was like looking at eBay anyway. I thought, oh, let's just jump on stream. But I do appreciate, you know, the few of you that have stopped by. I know these nights are busy, and I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, are tuning into the game. I'm not watching it live. The terrible football fan that I am, I will catch the highlights and enjoy the reactions on Twitter. But yeah, I figured, you know, we might finish a bit early tonight, kind of, you know, around half time. But yeah, great to see you, man. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Right, as we scroll through, this is one of my favourite T90 shirts. 35 quid. I mean, it's cheaper than you probably find it at most retailers. You do see these going quite a lot. They're certainly not particularly rare. Not the most wearable shirt as well, it must be said. The material, and many of you will know if you have one of these T90 shirts. Yeah, they're not the most kind of comfortable, flexible, but yeah, I do like it. And to be fair, again, that is less than I'd expect to see it at a typical retailer, albeit not much less. A Smith says, hi Phil, is the Fake industry just as big for retro jackets as for regular retro shirts? Great question. Based on my knowledge, it's certainly less big. It's smaller. That's how most human beings talk. It's smaller than the shirt industry, but I think what's really interesting is you see the popularity of jackets, and particularly retro jackets, They are high, and there are certainly fakes out there. I've certainly seen fake jackets before, and I think certainly some of the most kind of popular styles for some of the biggest teams. There's kind of various Liverpool jackets that spring to mind, Man United jackets, and those are ones which you would expect to see fakes of, because it is quite simply there is a market. So to answer your question, I think though it isn't nearly as big, I think there is certainly still an industry for fake jackets, and I would assume it's rising based on the rise in interest in jackets in general, and real jackets. There's definitely something to be said there. Now, I'm very curious as to this Brazil shirt. This was, I don't know if this was actually worn on the pitch. I don't remember it being worn on the pitch, but maybe. I might be wrong. Maybe it was worn on pitch. I don't remember seeing pictures of this on pitch, but again, don't quote me on that. I might be completely wrong. This is honestly a very interesting shirt, but I would assume this is kind of. I mean, okay, we know this is fake, guys, because of the label. I was starting to think, okay, it's interesting, like that. Slightly doesn't look quite right. That Nike logo looks a bit off, but then we look at the label here, and you see it's 2023 for a shirt which is supposed to be 2013. Even the method of the tag in there, and there's nothing to indicate the specific team. So we can almost, I would say with a fair degree of certainty, that this is fake. But it's good to do a bit of due diligence. I always say that, and I always struggle to say that word. I wouldn't touch that one. I think obviously the price is pretty high. No bids suggested it is fake, because while that real, that is certainly an interesting piece. Although, as I say, I don't think this is. I don't think that one was real. Now, this is an incredible shirt. Oh man, I have to say, if I had a much bigger budget, this would be definitely a pickup. The condition of this Aberdeen shirt is fantastic. One of the all-time great Adidas templates from the peak of Adidas. 1986. This is literally when Adidas were, well, I would say, at their best. I don't have any particular affiliation to Aberdeen, but this is absolutely stunning. Great condition. You can see minimal signs of wear. An absolutely incredible shirt, and the price here reflects that. But the thing is, this, I think, is the kind of shirt where you're pushing certainly over 200, 250. I think would be a baseline for this. I would expect it to be even more, given the condition. I don't think 300 would be outside the realms of possibility. Again, for kind of a typical listing, that's the kind of value with a mid-80s Adidas shirt like this, in this sort of condition, in a good size. I think my estimate would be something like 300, 325, if not more. If the team is particularly popular, or if there was success related to the team, you could be looking at more. But this is great, and again, I don't have this sort of money to spend tonight, or at least unless I see something which really speaks to me. But you see another great shirt, and this is from the same seller. This Coventry shirt. Now, there are some signs of wear, it must be said, but this is a real classic. Now, what I think I want to do tonight is figure out what is the market value of an original Coventry A7 shirt, because yes, this does have holes. It has some wear, but it looks to be, at least from what I can see, an original. And this is certainly a shirt which I would love to add to my collection. And again, I would estimate this to be certainly way more than double this. So I'm not, I won't necessarily stick in the bid, but let's see. Let's do some research. And I like to do this. I like to do this on the stream. basically do some digging to see what these shirts would go for, and then of course that helps us understand, is it worth the bid, is it worth sticking in an offer. Obviously this has had 20 bids, so lots of action, and again, given the condition, nothing that's a deal breaker. The hole is a bit unfortunate, but certainly the kind of thing which does often happen with these 80 shirts. It says does DIY add in notice onto retro shirts add to the value if done well? I've got a 0506 Southampton shirt, and I did walk on the back when he rejoined us. So typically most collectors wouldn't like that sort of thing. It's not a deal breaker for every collector, but I would say the majority of full shirt collectors don't like name sets added after the fact. Having said that, if the name set was consistent in style and in the way it was applied to the era, that helps a lot. So again, assuming that the font is the same, and again it's applied in the same kind of sort of placement, ideally with the same sort of techniques, again depending on the era, so those things help. But yeah, I would say typically speaking it doesn't help with value, and if anything a lot of collectors would actually see that as a negative. Now that's not true for every collector, and I think what's important is that, again, as long as everything's official and done well, you're probably not losing too much value. But I would actually say often it's the opposite, at least in my experience. A Smith, that would be my advice. Obviously it's, you've already added the name set, so I would say, don't worry about removing it or anything. But yeah, it if you're looking to sell it, yeah, do what I'm going to do now. Have a look for the shirt, and try and basically find it. Obviously, if the name set is unique or specific, you might not be able to find the exact shirt. But yeah, definitely do some digging. Now here we go, guys. This is really interesting. Again, this shirt on for 90 quid with 20 minutes to go. The club themselves are actually selling retro versions of the shirt for 55 quid that have sold out, and that speaks to the popularity of the kit. Obviously this is a retro shirt, but it's sorry, you see, I do apologise, you see this eBay listing for 90 quid, and that really looks a lot better than when you see that the retro shirts are 55 quid, which of course have much less value, albeit they are quite nice and they're done with Hummel, so there is it's a good example of a retro shirt. We can see on eBay that's a retro shirt, so again someone's kind of trying to pull a fast one there. We can see a number of listings for around 290, 200. This one has a lot more fading to the label, to the sponsor, so worse condition than the other one, although the other one of course had the hole, and again some significant fading. So you see these are the kind of condition things you have to deal with. The label's been cut off, although it does look pretty real at first glance. This one doesn't have the sponsor, which could be a good or bad thing. And again, this one I think looks legit, but on for 290. So what I would say is that I think for this shirt, anything under 100 quid would be a good price. Now, again, I don't think I will stick in the bid tonight, simply because I'm saving money for some other purchases. There's actually a particular Boca Juniors shirt which I've got my eye on, which I'm probably going to pick up, which is around this sort of price range. So I won't stick in the bid, but I would, again, with a bit more money, I think 100 quid would be a nice pickup. That would be a nice price to pick this up. Sorry. Now again, the condition is slightly putting me off. There is that hole, there is the damage. So at £100, though it is much cheaper, again, the market value for this is definitely much. I would say probably about 250, maybe 225. But again, there is some damage. I'll be interested in you. We'll probably end the stream actually, I think, looking at the price of that. And we can see again this wonderful Aberdeen shirt. If anything, this one is even more appealing given the better condition, and it is a wonderful shirt. But sadly, the budget does not allow, and I've got to be tight. And hey, I'm sure, well, you guys would call me up rightly after my video on how to avoid collector fatigue. When I talked about setting budgets, setting limits, there's some things I just have to say, okay, we're not going to go there, even though I would be very tempted. Wow, that is quite a okay, here we go. We obviously at Phil's Corner, we like to enjoy a few unusual items, and the discoloration on this collar is pretty brilliant. Look at that. Honestly, that's fantastic. I'm gonna save that and share that on Twitter probably tomorrow. That is great. Yeah, Ace Smiths is really is interesting how the helmet template shirt can be so iconic despite not being unique at the time. Yeah, I think what's really interesting is the iconicity, or the popularity, notoriety, whatever you want to say, of a template is not dependent on it being bespoke or unique. Of course, by their nature, templates aren't bespoke, but what I mean is that actually if a template or a design has been used across multiple teams, that doesn't necessarily harm the shirt being loved. If anything, when a template is implemented well, it can actually be a really strong thing. And many of the best shirts of all time, people's favourite shirts of all time, are templates. So I think it's really interesting. If anything, in some ways, sometimes it helps, because of course this shirt was used by national teams, by Denmark in '86 and Mexico '86, along with several club sides, some of which won competitions or were in finals. So there's a lot to be said about how templates become popular. I think it's really interesting. I think this shirt obviously had a lot of attention this year, with Hummel choosing to essentially deck out all their teams with a version of this template, a modernised version of this template, to celebrate their 100th year anniversary. I quite like the way they did it. A lot of people got a bit kind of hot bothered about it. I think it was largely done quite well, I would say. Winnerman says, which league would you say have most of your jerseys from? I mean, because I have a lot of Boca Juniors shirts, I say a lot, I think I've got about 15 now, so it might be Argentina, to be honest, because I'm quite spread across the globe. I don't have that many UK shirts. I've got a bunch from, I've got a few from Spain. I guess Italy would probably be second. I do have a few Parma, a few Fiorentina, a couple of Inter. Yeah, so maybe I think it would be Argentina first, just because of the Boca shirts, and then probably Italy. Great question, Middleman. And I think one of my next videos, if not my next video, I want to do something along the lines of picking my favourite team from each nation, or the biggest nations of the world. But I realise, and I've realised over the years, there tends to be one team I gravitate towards when it comes to shirts. That's not to say that I would only collect shirts from there, but for example, in Spain, I really like Valencia, and that's partly because of the team. I used to love. They were kind of one of my favourite teams in the noughties. Players like Aymar, of course, and Vicente, and they had a sort of a really fun team. Used to love playing them in FIFA. And there was the kind of Rafa Benitez connection as well, as a Liverpool fan. So yeah, Valencia, I have a bunch of Valencia shirts. So I think it'd be fun, maybe go through all the major nations of the world, maybe the top 20, 30 nations, and pick one club, my favourite club. Maybe a shirt, if I've got an example of a shirt, I'll maybe pick out a few. Something like that. I think that's probably what I'll go for my next video. I need to kind of format it and get it sorted. But yeah, I think Italy, I would assume Italy is would be most people's choice, because it is an incredible league. It is undoubtedly the best league in the world for shirts. I don't think there's any competition, to be honest. Pound for pound, Italian clubs bring it at a level that no other league can match. Ace says the Valencia shirt in the top left view graphic is so beautiful. I was really glad to add it to my collection. Oh, it is good, isn't it? That is one of my favourites. It's wonderful. It is just straight up one of the. Again, we talk about Total 90. That might be the best one of the lot. And of course, we also have the kind of added bonus of. Well, I just think the Valencia shirts that use the Siniera, the flag, are particularly beautiful. I love those kind of ongoing themes that clubs have. That's really sweet. This particular Spain shirt was one of the first that I ever picked up from a charity shop. I think I got it for £3, and it was pretty battered, but it was authentic. And this was like a long time ago. It might have been £4. I think it was £4, which is ridiculous. And again, way under what it should cost. It's nothing special. I don't know if this is real. At first glance, I'm not sure, to be honest, but we will pass on it. But yeah, so some nice memories seeing that one there. Yeah. Minimal says any Sampdoria kit I would argue is a must-have in anyone's personal collection. Sorry, it's a great shout. It's funny because I don't know. I've had Sampdoria shirts pass through my hands. I don't think I currently have one in my collection though. And yeah, they're not. It's funny. I absolutely love the designs of the shirts, and you know, being obviously a big Boca apologist, I kind of appreciate the similar kind of approach with the middle bands of colour, the middle stripes, hoops, whatever you want to call them. But I've not picked up many Sampdoria shirts over the years. Guys, as we continue, I just want to say as well, please do subscribe if you are new, if you're watching this for the first time. Maybe you're watching, you stumbled across the stream, the algorithm suggested it to you, whatever it is. Do subscribe if you enjoyed tonight. That would be really sweet. Also, you can leave a like if you enjoyed the video as well. Hey, so it's a similar question to add in notice, but would getting someone to fix a sponsor also be a negative for a lot of collectors? I think with that example, again, the key is how well it's been restored. I think that is less of a negative compared to a name set. Assuming it's been restored again to the kind of faithful to the original, as faithful as possible, and that is a bit more 50-50. I think some collectors would like that and they would actually see it as positive. Others probably wouldn't want stuff to be restored. So it's silly, isn't it? Really, I know that's a cop-out answer, but I don't think there is a hard and fast rule there. I would say. Personally, I would rather have shirts in the original condition, but that's just me personally. I don't see it. Nothing against sponsors being repaired, and actually there are many people who do it to such a good standard that you wouldn't even know it was repaired, or that it's so faithful to the original. And you see sponsors like this, they do break, they do crack all the time, so it's quite common. I was just interested to see this listing here. Now this is a size small U, so very, very small. Albeit a wonderful Villa shirt from that template. We talked about Coventry. Interestingly, that shot up to 110. So I think I would be out at this point anyway. Though it is a good price, things in the condition do put me off slightly, and it's not in my kind of ideal size. But ultimately, this is way below what you'd expect to see it for in the market. Let's have a look at Aberdeen. That ended 166, which to me I think is a real steal. I think that is definitely, again, it's a shame we don't have an unlimited budget, because that would have been a really sweet pickup. But some really, really sweet shirts tonight. I like this Coventry shirt as well. I think that's a good price. A little bit much for me, but we'll see what that ends on in 8 minutes. Guys, I want to say thank you, because again, I wasn't sure whether to do this stream given the fact it's Champions League, but I'm just going to do it. Typically I don't know, I said this before and I already broke my rule. Typically, if it is a Champions League night, we probably won't stream most European nights just because the streams are a bit quieter. But having said that, you know, you guys have showed up and I do want to thank you for that. Little fun fact, which I haven't shared with anyone yet. I'm going to mention this to my patrons this week. But I'm probably going to look at simultaneously streaming on Twitter. Now, it pains me to have to think that I might actually have to pay for Twitter, like Twitter Premium, whatever stupid thing it's called. So in that sense, I don't want to do that. But I'm interested to try that. I've seen some people do that quite successfully, but they stream like we're doing now tonight on YouTube, but also stream direct to Twitter. So I think I'm going to explore that, maybe try that out, see how it goes. Because my Twitter audience is much larger than it is on YouTube, and it could be a way to grow the stream. Who knows? It might not. It might not be a good thing, but that's something which should be really cool. Likely wouldn't immediately change the schedule. I think we'd still do these Tuesday evenings and the Thursday afternoons for the Hot Wall. But obviously, if it went really well, we could maybe look at another slot. But again, it might be a non-starter, but that's just a fun thing. I'll obviously keep you all posted on the channel as that begins. Oh, sorry. So scrolling through, gotta love these big jackets. I mean, you see, this is kind of one of the classic Umbro styles. But they are great. Proper touchline jacket. Still 110 for the Coventry. Again, we won't be bidding on that, but interesting to note. This PSG shirt, sorry, very collectible. Looks pretty good at first glance. £200 is quite a lot. I would probably guess, like my guess for market value for that would probably be about 125, maybe pushing 150. I think it's a fairly valuable shirt, and I think it's interesting as a collector. This kind of shirt is interesting, given that it was, a collaboration shirt before collaboration shirts were a thing, kind of very much ahead of the game. Certainly far previous to the trend that PSG themselves very much initiated with the Jordan partnership. So a very interesting shirt to own, and they're not super common. They do pop up from time to time, but quite a nice one. This Fenerbahce shirt, I don't have any recollection of this one. This is probably like my least favourite style of anniversary shirt, but having said that, whilst I don't like the pattern or the design, I do like the shiny gold, and it's certainly memorable. Quite a lot of damage on the crest, unfortunately, which is reflected in the price. But yeah, that's certainly a fun one. Jack, I think I might go for it. Jack, one of the a fellow Boca collector, part of the Boca collecting family in the community. Yeah, thanks so much for sending that, mate. And I must say, I'll look again and try and find out a bit more about the site, about the seller. That's a shirt I've been looking out for a while, to kind of complete the trifecta with the blue and the gold. I think I will go for it. Based on the picture, does that line up with? Am I right in saying you've got the white one, mate? Does that line up pretty well with the white one you've got, pictures wise? That's what my impression was. Pretty good at first glance for that. But yeah, I think I'll go for it. I did have somebody come in today, which I was waiting on, so that was good. So I think I am going to pull the trigger, assuming it's still. In fact, I think I did actually. Yeah, I did save the tab. That to me at first glance looks pretty good. This would be a terrible time for someone to come in and snipe this. One thing I usually like to do for a seller is check out their social media profiles. Now, this isn't a hard and fast kind of rule, but I kind of want to make sure they're somewhat active. there's no immediate warning signs, obviously, honestly, with this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go from 8, and we'll see. I'd say do let me know what you think if that does compare well to the one you've got. That to me, that price seems fair. It's nothing kind of crazy, but it's certainly not a shirt I've seen a lot around, and it's one I've really wanted for the collection. So I think I will pick that one up. Again, assuming it doesn't get sniped in the next 10 minutes. But thank you again for sending that over. Coventry, still 110. Let's see what that goes for. And we'll just have a couple of minutes to wrap it up. But there's been some pretty sweet vintage shirts going tonight. eBay never ceases to amaze me. This is a great Palmer shirt. You do see these quite a lot. I regret selling it. I had a long sleeve of the white one of these, which I did, which was a bit small, so I did sell it in the end. But probably could have kept that one in hindsight. Yeah, some really sweet shirts. Like, eBay is great. eBay, for all the problems with fakes and for all the difficult things and the negatives, the very real negatives, stuff. Oh, just look at this. Like, it's a shame this is a youth medium shirt. Well, this in adult size, that would just be an immediate purchase. Great Kappa template, love that. Le Mans, not a team you're going to see much of. Hilarious how big the name set is there on the back. It's like the kind of adult name size and name set size on the kid shirt, on the tiny Kappa shirt. Jack saying, at first glance, yes, looks good in terms of colour and fitting. There's basically only one type of that fake that I've seen, and it has a kind of neon yellow instead of the golden yellow. Also, not a widely fake shirt. Yeah, I know exactly the same neon yellow you're talking about, because I've definitely seen that same fake. Yeah, but that's really sweet. I'll definitely, I think I will go for it again if it's still in stock by the time I finish the stream. And yeah, I'll let you know, mate. And I'll keep out looking for the gold one. The one I got, I can't remember if I said, but the one I got was from Cult Kits, actually. Yeah. And the damage, there's a fair bit of damage on, but obviously that is quite a hard one as well to find. I will let you know if I see anything. And I really, like I've been saying before, and I've said before on the channel, I really do want to kind of begin to expand my Boca collection. It's certainly by far the biggest slice of my collection. I don't think I'll be able to collect in every shirt from kind of since the 80s or whatever, but I would like to fill it out a lot. And I'm kind of like, I'm enjoying the way it's just slowly adding to it. It's nice to have that long-term goal. Nice to have that kind of like, there's something very satisfying about that. And I shared, of course, in my last video about that. There's a Sampdoria shirt for Middleman there. That's a great shirt. Like, just a little bit faded. In fact, quite a bit faded. So condition not great, it must be said. There was a hole. So the price honestly isn't fantastic there. Same in football shirts as well. A name who has, I would say, a very dubious reputation in the community. A number of people have called out this seller for buying shirts from charity shops and selling them on at a markup. So, reflected in the ratings there. Anytime an eBay seller doesn't have 100% rating, positive ratings, it's already a kind of warning sign. So, yeah, nothing special. The price isn't great for that one given its condition, but it is, were it in good condition, it would certainly be a strong option. And a number more from Same Football shirts, which again, there's a number of shirts which I don't think are priced particularly well. But hey, is what it is. It's great trio of shirts, says Jack on the Mercosur Cup shirts. I'm still on the same path as you, Bucko. I still collect all the shirts and Bucko is slow, but it's rewarding. Nice, up to 20. I think I'm just behind you, Jack. I need to do a fresh count. But yeah, man, it's great. I couldn't be more with you there. I really enjoy that kind of slow additive process. Now, this is really interesting. The comment sheet went for 156. So I would say it's a good price for the shirt, but actually it's not you know, given like the condition, like it's got a hole, it's nothing, it's not a deal breaker, but it speaks to the popularity of the shirt. And again, the thing is, right, when the retro shirt, we talked about this earlier, when the retro shirt, the retro reproduction shirt is going 55 quid, in many ways, are 3 of those worth one of these? Absolutely. This is, you know, given it looks to be an original, and it is despite the hole and the peeling sponsor, it is in largely pretty good nick overall, and it is a great shirt. Obviously the hype around Hummel and Coventry is really high, given that they're back with them, so there's a lot to be said about that, but really interesting. I'm honestly quite surprised that went for as much as the Aberdeen shirt, which I would say the Aberdeen shirt is a little bit more, well, I think it's a little bit better. The condition was much better, but it speaks to the popularity of this template and again of this particular Coventry shirt. Guys, I think we'll call it a night. It's been a good time, and my hair's pretty wild tonight. Thank you for tuning in on the Champions League night. I said a few weeks ago, I said I wouldn't do this, but I thought let's just jump on, and again, typically we won't do this, but a bit of a bonus stream, and thank you for choosing to tune in, for hanging out, for your questions. There's been some great questions tonight. Thank you so much for your company, and let's do it all again next week. Oh, hang on, when are the Champions League fixtures before I say that? So, okay, we probably won't do it next week because it is the second leg of PSG Dortmund. So I think we probably won't stream next week, but most Tuesdays we'll be streaming, and of course we will be streaming on Thursdays as well. Thank you, A Smith. Really appreciated your input. Yeah, great to have you here, my friends. See you very soon. Have a great evening as well. And guys, thank you. On your way out, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this after the fact. And again, if you've watched the Champions League, you're watching this late in the day, the next day, whatever. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. It does really mean a lot, and it would go a long way to growing this channel. So thank you for you if you're doing that. But otherwise, guys, I'll sign off. I'll see you very soon. Have a good rest of your evening, good rest of your week if I don't speak to you before. For those of you who will be popping in on Thursday, see you then. Thank you so much. All the best.